How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Theo's Garage. Today I will be sound deadening my truck. I want to give you a little before and after, so let's go start the truck. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, start the truck. Oh, you want to start the truck? You want me to start the truck? Do you want me to start the truck? Shake if you want to start the truck. Oh, God. Oh, God. So this is what it sounds like inside the cab when I start the truck. That's what it sounds like with the radio on. But now we're gonna go for a drive. So it appears kind of loud inside the cab, and this is what I don't like. And I would just like to make it a little quieter in here. So if I drop back down to third, you kind of just hear it. It's at high RPMs, but let's go install. So now you got a chance to hear what it sounds like in the cab while driving the truck. Now I'm gonna rip everything out and start installing the sound deadening material, and we'll go for another drive. So the first thing we're going to want to remove is the bench seat itself. There's a 12mm bolt, jeez, words are hard, right here, and then there's another one right in this area, and it will be the same on the other side. So before you actually pull out your bench sheet, you actually want to make sure that you pull out the seatbelt buckles, and then you'll be able to pull it out. Okay. And now we can just yank it out. What you're going to want to do is make sure if you have anything behind the bench seat or the bucket seats, whatever you have in yours, remove that. As you can see, it's pretty dirty, and my carpet actually didn't reach all the way. I bought it online from carparts.com, I believe, and this is what they sold me, you know, so I wasn't willing to pay the $200 for a brand new carpet. But now that I think about it, I just might go to Joann's Fabrics, something like that, and get the rest of this and get some padding so that it's actually completely covered. So now that I got all my nonsense removed from the back, what I'm going to start doing is taking these off, the seatbelt buckles, and so that it's a little more area to work with. Plus, you don't want these on while you're doing all of this, because I'm actually going to scrub this down and use my steamer that I bought off Amazon, which I'd link in the description, so that you can also see the results whether or not you want to get this. Let's get those removed and let's start working on where the shifter is. These bolts are going to be a 17 millimeter. The thing is, if you don't want to take forever, or you feel like it's taking too long, use an impact wrench if you want. Just give it a try. There we go. Now you got these two off. You want to get the other side as well. And there you go. Just pull this off. I did not expect that, but there is a wire here, so just make sure you disconnect that. There we go. Now you can remove this and the other one. You want to take off your knobs, so I could do, just unscrew them, so that you could take off the shift boot. If you have a spare one lying around, I'd be very interested in it if you're willing to sell it, and just leave a comment down below. Alright, so now that we got the shift boot removed, we can now start removing the carpet. So if you can tell, I'm being very gentle with this, and I'm making sure before I tug on this padding that I get my fingers right below it so that it doesn't rip some of it off, because you want to keep this the way it is and not in bits and pieces where it becomes terrible to put back. So just take your time and eventually it'll come out. If you wanted, you could use a box cutter or something like that. Oh, I think I just heard my cat. Nala. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Hey. Okay, I'll let you in. Oh, nice. That's cool. So now I'm actually going to have to fix some kind of hole somewhere because I have standing water. that's cool. The carpet is out. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. Probably should have vacuumed it before I pulled it out. But what I'm going to be doing is using my top vac to clean the inside of the truck. And then I will have my steamer warming up. And then I'll start using that after I vacuum all the stuff that fell in when I pulled the carpet. I'm sure people want to hear what it sounds like before the sound deadening material is on, so if you look towards the back, because I removed the little cover on here, so that's what it kind of sounds like. So, and then I'll come back around and tap on the outside of the door for all of you. Tap on the door. There you go. So now the steamer is all ready to go. This is probably the cleanest I'm going to be able to get it. Doesn't look the best, but it definitely is clean. There's no more dirt or debris, so I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. Just to focus. So I'm going to let this dry. That looks really gunked up and stuff like that, but it's not coming off. And it is, like I said, that material. I will be putting some rust reformer and patching up the holes. Anywhere I see some rust, I'm going to put this self-etching or this rust reformer, which is pretty much like a self-etching primer. But I'll let this dry and I'll get to spraying. Alright, so I sprayed where I wanted to spray, as you can see. I sprayed some areas where I saw some rust. But while I'm waiting for everything to kind of dry up where I put some of that fiberglass resin, I'm actually going to get started on the back part of this cab. It's going to be a little before sound one more time. This is the back part, and this is what it sounds like. Also, so it's not bad. Just need to finish the rest of the floor. I got it to everywhere that I wanted to touch up. I did get under the firewall back here. As you can see, this is where I first started, and yeah, so it's the end product. I do have a mat that actually sits on top of this that I might actually just put in here. It's supposed to also help it. I haven't got the doors yet, but I did want to get this. This took me pretty much a day to do, only because you saw earlier in the video I had to do a lot of prep work, try to get all this stuff cleaned before I actually laid all this sound deadening material. I might get back here as well. The cover doesn't go that low, and I didn't want it to show, but I mean, no one's gonna look back there except myself. So I'm gonna get the liner and then put the carpet and everything back on, put the seat back in, and we will be done. Alright, so I got these two materials. This one I got for free from a friend from work. The reason being I got it for free is because I bought some of that sound deadening material. It was the Noiko brand. And he actually gave me this foam for free as well with this. This is a rubberized vinyl, I guess. That's supposed to soundproof like walls and things like that. He did use it in his truck because he put a new sound system and everything like that. I'm gonna put some of this right where the gear shifter is and see if it'll make a difference. I did cut little pieces to fit around this rubber, so I'm gonna stick these pieces in. Let's see what happens. Okay, now the last piece, just put that right there. I know it's not ideal because where it is sitting right now, it might cause an issue shifting into gears because right now I'm in neutral, but I'm going to start the car and see if there's a difference. So okay, so it doesn't sound too loud anymore, but if I press down, you hear that? Now let me pull these out. You can kind of still hear it. It's not as loud because of the sound deadening, but if I put these back in, just so that you could hear it. Got some oil leaking. Alright, anyway. So there we go. Then push down again. It seems to make it a lot quieter once I take my hands off, or once I put pressure on it, I should say. So it's not a bad material. It is a vinyl, so I might put that under here. I'm gonna have to make a lot of cuts if I want to put this material in here, but it definitely makes the truck quiet. So I got everything put back together, got my seat in. I did put some of that vinyl material under the passenger side where the floor mat would go, and also under the driver's side. I still haven't done the doors, but I will be doing those eventually. And I'm thinking about actually doing the hood, only because there's so much sound that comes from there, and also back in this area behind the dash. But let's give it a sound. Yeah, so it's definitely not bad. Like I said, all this sound is probably just coming from this little hole right here where the shifter is. It's a real bummer. I mean, but overall the material isn't bad. It's not hard to install. It's just time consuming, and prep work is always the key if you want a good product in the end. Alright guys, so all the sound deadening material is inside the truck. Let's see what it sounds like on the startup. Take it out of the first gear this time. Doesn't sound bad. So if I talk like this, you can actually hear me a lot better. In the old video, in the beginning of it I should say, I'm kind of talking with a raised voice, but this is normally how I would talk, and you can hear me clearly. So let's blast the tunes. What if you like this? Well, we ain't never gonna know unless we try it. What if I was made for you and you were made for me? What if this is it? What if it's meant to be? What if I ain't one of them fools just playing some game? So I'm pretty happy with it. It sounds a lot better. So let's go for a test drive. Thanks for watching, guys. Now you have heard the before and after of what it sounds like before sound deadening material inside a vehicle, and after. I kind of like it after I actually finish the doors. So drop a comment, a like, a subscribe, let me know what you want to see, and thanks for watching.